On May 9, 1959, the Mexican-American family, the Arechigas, were evicted from their home in a hilly rural area near downtown Los Angeles known as Chavez Ravine, made up of the neighborhoods Bishop, La Loma, and Palo Verde, all home to Mexican-American families. The Arechigas, one of many, were evicted from this area during a 10-year period struggling against this eviction, starting in 1949 and ending with an agreement made between the city of LA and Walter O'Malley, owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Dodgers baseball team moved to LA, building a stadium in Chavez Ravine. This all became known as the Battle of Chavez Ravine. Beginning with the National Housing Act of 1949, the search for public housing space marked Chavez Ravine as a desirable site. Part of the act called for the U.S. to construct public housing in various sites around the country as part of President Truman's domestic program, the Fair Deal. Right away, the Chavez Ravine became one of the targeted sites for public housing. In 1950, a contract was signed between the city and the Housing Authority, building 11 projects of 10,000 dwelling units to cost $110 million. The City Housing Authority, a state agency, condemned the Arechigas for building a low-rent apartment project. While many families left Chavez Ravine, the Arechigas stayed. During all of this turmoil, the fate of Chavez Ravine experienced a shift. Surging anti-communist crusades and the rising Red Fear led to the targeting of the public housing program for its embedded socialist action nature. In 1951, the city of LA decided to stop these public housing projects. As UCLA professor Hines remarks, the voters rejected any public housing extension, and in the adjustment that followed involving the federal government, the city council agreed to buy the condemned property. The City Housing Authority had to offer the land over to the city of LA. With a twist in events and the rise of Walter O'Malley, seeking for a site in LA to build a stadium for the new baseball team, Chavez Ravine became the prime location of interest. During this shift of events, the Arechigas still remained stubbornly opposed to leaving. They decided to sue in 1953 to set aside the condemnation judgment on the grounds that the housing project had been abandoned. While they lost their claim in 1957, the city of LA decided to exchange the 315-acre Chavez Ravine territory to O'Malley on October 7, 1957. It was marked as a controversial contract that left many questioning the act of this private ownership, violating the city's previous decision to keep the land public. The city agreed to spend $2 million on improving the area. However, there still remained 20 families living in Chavez Ravine, with the last family eviction, the Arechigas, taking place in 1959. The tensions rose as the city worked diligently to remove the family in order to initiate the construction of the stadium. And on March 9, 1959, the Arechigas were served notice to vacate in 30 days. 60 days later, they were evicted with bulldozers and sheriff deputies, and their homes were destroyed. A later interview with Aurora Fernandez, daughter of Manuel and Ivrana Arechiga, provided a brief review of the Battle of Chavez Ravine. She was arrested for 30 days after confronting and resisting the sheriff deputies that tried to evict her family and from their home. Many residents of Chavez Ravine described it as a close-knit community, where residents all knew each other, left their doors unlocked, and cared for each other's children. Fernandez mentioned how she has never visited the Dodger Stadium, as she says, "My grandchildren go to the games. The Dodgers are my favorite team, but I just can't go in that stadium." This response resonates the personal effect the eviction had on this community. The Battle of Chavez Ravine highlights a prime example of the experience of a major Mexican community in Los Angeles undergoing displacement, intrusion of political action from public housing to Cold War politics, all while introducing the Dodgers Major League Baseball team. Ironically, while the construction of the stadium displaced a Hispanic neighborhood, it eventually introduced a Latinx community of followers that transformed into a pivotal element of Latinx culture in Los Angeles today.